What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys some more Pokemon Showdown OU singles action. Today we're going to be leading off against Hoopa OP on the bottom and me on the top. Every once in a while when I upload Pokemon Showdown replays, my team gets switched and I'm on the opposing side. This is going to be the case for both of today's replays. Sorry about that, there's no way I can really fix it, but Hoopa OP is using Medicham, Sylveon, Breloom, Landorus, Rotom, Wash, and Scizor versus my Kyurem Black, Darmanitan, Scizor, Azumarill, Suicune, and Thundurus Therian. So the way that I'm going to be able to break my opponent down this game is by making his Rotom Wash switch in on multiple attacks, and once the Rotom Wash is gone, I can start slamming him with Flare Blitzes, Bullet Punches, Aqua Jets, all the good stuff. So once we break the Rotom Wash, we're going to have a clean shot at victory, and yeah, I mean, I just don't really think that there's that much he can really do about it. So we're going to start things off. So he leads off with the Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash is a great lead against my team because it has potential for Volt Switch out. You can also like trick my Suicune because Suicune is a pretty decent lead against this guy's team. I decided to lead off with Thundurus Therian. I have potential for HP Ice on his Landorus. I have potential for Nasty Plot setups. Also, if he does lead with the Rotom, which I was pretty sure he was going to, he can't Volt Switch out against me. He just has to Hard Switch into the Sylveon target here. So Sylveon's going to come in. It's going to eat the Volt Switch for about 22%. And it's going to let me get a free switch into almost anything I want trying to break this Sylveon. So Thundurus is going to go back, and I don't really, I should send out Darmanitan here. There we go. So the way this is going to work, I'm going to send Darmanitan out here, and if he wants to switch it with anything, it's probably going to go down. If he wants to switch with Landorus to get the Intimidate, I will almost KO with Flare Blitz, and if it's not a Scarf Landorus, I'll KO with the second one. So we're going to see him switch out the Sylveon, either going into Landorus or Rotom. He decides to come in with the Landorus here, going for the Intimidate. It's going to drop my attack, but Darmanitan's like the strongest Pokemon in the game. This one is packing a Choice Band, and there's no way that's going to stop me. I actually get a crit there. Like I said, it wasn't really needed, because I'm pretty sure that was a Wall Landorus, and my Darmanitan is faster than Wall Landorus, so the second one would have finished it off. But, I mean, I'll take the crit if he wants to give it to me. So now the Landorus is gone, that pretty much means that my Thundurus can do whatever it wants. So that's one good thing to note. There's no Pokemon stopping my Thundurus for the remainder of the game. I'm going to have to swap out my Darmanitan, though. I don't want to eat this Medicham, like, pure power fake out. And I decided to go into Suicune here. Suicune is pretty good against Medicham. It's going to then force him to either switch in with Rotom or Breloom in a couple turns. But hopefully by then I can be well set up, or I can do like a double switch or something like that. So he goes Mega, goes for that huge fake out. Actually does a nice chunk to my Suicune. That's pretty strong for a fake out. And leftovers are just going to restore a little bit of it back, but I really do feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Medicham is not going to fight Suicune. He's not going to risk getting burned from the 30% chance from Scald. He's going to switch out, and I think he decides to come in with the Rotom Wash here. Rotom Wash is going to come in, try and wall my Suicune out, and when you see Pokemon like Rotom Wash come in this situation, you know that it's packing Trick. We Scald it, we don't see any leftovers, we know it has like a Specs or a Scarf, or some kind of gimmicky trick. It's going to try to take my leftovers, and you know what? I'm fine with that. At this point in the game, I don't really want anything. I feel like I'm so ahead since I have that KO on Landorus that I can use Thundurus to my advantage. I decided to switch into the Thundurus here. I'll take whatever item he really wants to get me. And remember, like, also, I do have the Volt Absorb. For worst case scenario, if you just went for like a Thunderbolt or something, I was completely safe. So I swapped in here, got a Choice Scarf on my Thundurus. Now I'm by far the fastest Pokemon on the board now, and I go for just another Volt Switch. I was thinking about Thunderbolting, but I didn't want to be, I didn't want him to swap in with Breloom, and then like let's say it was like a Poison Heal Breloom, and then just like set up a sub. That would have been really bad. So I decided to Volt Switch out, just play it safe, go into Suicune here. I'm assuming since it's like a Scarf Rotom, it's not really gonna have that many ways of like restoring its health, so I wasn't expecting him to go for a second trick, but he's going to give my Suicune a Sash, which is kind of funny because I'm at 99%, and he takes my leftovers, which is quite bad. It pretty much just puts me in a really, really bad spot, but, you know, I still feel like I'm in a good, I still feel overall like I'm in a good position in this game. He finally gets to go for his Volt Switch. It almost chunks me to half, and this is where I'm really expecting the transition into Breloom here. Breloom has the Grass typing, so it's going to be able to wall my Scald forever unless I get the burn. So I really, really need to get the burn on this Scald because we don't know if it's like a Sash Breloom or a Poison Heal Breloom. So we actually do pick up the burn. Note that we pick up the burn so it can't use its its Toxic Orb if it's holding one at the end of the turn to then get Poison and then get Toxic Heal. So really, really lucky getting the burn there. It just forces him out right there. There's no way you can really come back from that one. I got really lucky, but it wouldn't have been a game loss if I didn't get the burn. I'm just saying, it was really cool that I got it, but I mean, it's definitely game changing. I'll take it. I don't know, I'm just trying to downplay like how important that burn was, I guess. So I'm going to force, his Sylveon's going to force my Suicune out. I go into Scizor to wall this Hyper Voice, and I do feel pretty confident in Scizor checking the remainder of his team. Remember, his Rotom is really low, and it probably doesn't have Will-O-Wisp, and even if it did, I am packing a Lumberry. Remember, it was a Trick Rotom, so it would never trick Will-O-Wisp. Like, Choice Scarf Will-O-Wisp, that's like a really, really weird set. So Medicham comes in. On the switch to Medicham, I go for a Swords Dance. I have potential one-shot on the remainder of his Pokemon. I feel really confident here, and he goes for a Fake Out, but he's pretty much just delaying the inevitable. Scizor, packed with Bullet Punch and Bug Bite, has just the potential to one-shot the remainder of his Pokemon. So Scizor is going to carry it home for me here. It's just going to be a few more turns, and we're just going to speed things up and get into it. Bullet Punch is going to take out Medicham. It's always going to be a one-shot on that thing. It's so frail, but it is a very strong Pokemon. So Rotom Wash is going to come in. I'm expecting, like, is he going to Will-O-Wisp me? Are you really going to Will-O-Wisp me with your Trick Rotom? And, yeah, he totally Will-O-Wisp me, but like I said, I do have that Lumberry for these situations, and I actually get a crit Bug Bite, which didn't really matter. Note that I didn't want to Bullet Punch him because it's fourthed. It's not very effective on his Electric and Water typing. I probably could have two-shotted it, but I mean, Bug Bite was the correct move to go for because I had the Lumberry. If I didn't have a Lumberry, I probably would have went for the Bullet Punch and, like, hope for, like, high end or a crit. So we're actually just tearing this guy apart, and he's just going to forfeit right there. So Scizor lets me get that 6-stock, that nice 6-stock there. I did not expect that Rotom. Once I knew it was a trick set, because we saw, whenever you see Rotom Wash in a lead situation, when your opponent has a Pokemon like Landorus would have been a great lead. But whenever you see Pokemon like Rotom Wash in a lead situation, you can assume it has Trick. And that's just standard for, like, years. I mean, that's just how you play Rotom. And if you know that it's that set, it's pretty easy to play around. I was not expecting the Will-O-Wisp, because most of the time you're choiced, so you're locked into one move. Usually come out and use Hydro Pump, or you come out and use Volt Switch. You don't come out and use Will-O-Wisp and then switch. That's kind of weird, but it's not the end of the world. I've seen people that actually have Pain Split as their, like, last move on their Rotoms. That's crazy. You come in, trick their wall when you're, like, low, and then you Pain Split it after you take their leftovers, and they're, like, so broken. I mean, that would have rocked my Suicune so hard if he would have did that to me instead of, like, Will-O-Wisping later. I don't know. Rotom, it had Trick. We took it out, and we won the game. Next game. Alright, cool. Next game should load. There we go. Alright, cool. So we're leading off against Zampabolos. Now, remember, he's going to be on the bottom side, and I'm going to be on the top. It's going to be like that for almost all of the OU games I have. Sorry, guys, but that's just how it is. He has Aerodactyl, Heatran, there's a Manaphy right there, Tangrowth, Conkeldurr, and Starmie. So, switching up a little bit using old-school Pokemon like Aerodactyl and Tangrowth, and Starmie for that matter, but still keeping it standard with that Manaphy, Heatran core. Pairing off against me, I'm using Kyurem Black, Darmanitan, Scizor, Azumarill, Suicune, Thundurus. This is the exact same team. This is my singles team for this generation. And we're just going to start things off, get into it. We're going to see Heatran be the lead here. Heatran's packing potentially that sub, that stealth rock, all that good stuff. I decided to lead off with Thundurus again. I have a U-turn switch potential. I also have setup potential on Heatran. He decides to go for the Ancient Power. And note that he's faster than my Thundurus, which means that he's Scarfed. And I do not want to mess with a Scarfed Ancient Power Heatran. He actually switches, but he really didn't need to switch because he could have just KO'd me with Ancient Power. He probably thought I was switching to, like, Scizor or something, or Azumarill or something, like, to set up, but I'm just going to switch. I think he actually just called my switch super hard. I'm going to switch again, so I've switched 2 turns in a row, and I go into Scizor this turn, and on the switch to Scizor, I eat the Leaf Storm. Pretty good stuff, but, man, like, Ancient Power Scarfed Heatran, that is pretty crazy stuff. I mean, it's great in the matchup against Charizard, don't get me wrong. And I'm going to switch again. That's 3 switches in a row, because I knew he was going to switch. I knew his Tangrowth was going to switch. He just had to go into Heatran. I expected him to go into something else, but we already know that he's Scarfed, so he's going to go for the Earth Power. It's actually not going to KO my Darmanitan, and I'm going to KO him back with a real ground move. That's that Earthquake from that huge banded Darmanitan. And now that the Heatran, that Scarf is gone, I have a lot more freedom, because that thing was totally destroying me. His speed tiering was just perfect for how my team is set up. So now the Heatran's gone, I can save my Darmanitan for later. I switch out into Suicune, and this is eventually going to force in a Pokemon like Tangrowth or Starmie or Manaphy, but it doesn't really matter. I feel Suicune is pretty good in most of those matchups. It all really depends on if the Manaphy is packing that Substitute or Tail Glow. We're going to force in Tangrowth here, though. Tangrowth is going to try to wall out these Scalds, and I know that I don't want to eat a Leaf Storm. So I'm probably just going to switch to Scizor here. It seems like the standard play for me at this moment. Yes, Suicune's going to get withdrawn, and I'm going to come in with Scizor, but this is so obvious. I mean, I already did it once this game, and I think he reads me like a book. He's going to go for that Hidden Power Fire. Can you believe that? That's ridiculous. I got read like a book by a Tangrowth. I'm going to go for a Bug Bite before I go down. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill. Tangrowth is super bulky, and HP Fire number 2 is going to be able to take me out. So Scizor is going to go down. We're evened up at 5 Pokemon apiece, and it's time for Thundurus to come back out and work its magic here. I can go for a wide variety of moves, but we're going to force out the Tangrowth. I don't really know why. Oh, wait, he has Regenerate. I was like, I don't know why he forced it out, but Tangrowth is going to switch out. Aerodactyl is going to come in and eat the Hidden Power. Super effective, but it's not really going to clock any sashes or do anything. We already know that Aerodactyl is a lot faster than Thundurus is, so we are going to switch out, and I was really surprised he switched in with Aerodactyl there. Like, worst case scenario, any move I used, like where it be a Thunderbolt, where it be an Ice Beam, or Hidden Power Ice that last turn, they all would have done huge damage to Aerodactyl. Like, if that's your Mega, you're playing pretty dangerously with your Mega. So he switches back in with Starmie. On the switch to Starmie, I totally read him and go for a Play Rough instead of a Waterfall. And I missed the Play Rough. I can't believe I missed that Play Rough. It was huge. I should have just went for like a Belly Drum or something, but whatever. I'm going to switch out into Thunderstare, trying to eat a Thunderbolt. He actually goes for the Psyshock instead. That is a stab move from Starmie. Most people forget that Starmie is a Psychic type as well. So pretty good read from him there. This guy has a ton of reads. I'm going to come out with Kyurem Black here. I'm done messing around. I'm going to force that Starmie out. I don't even care what he comes in with. It's going to go down. Tangrowth's going to be the Pokemon of choice here, and it's going to eat a Dragon Claw and go down. Note that I'm using Dragon Claw over Outrage. Normally I would use Outrage, but I don't really need the damage from Outrage to KO any of these Pokemon. So Conkeldurr is going to come in. I don't really want to eat a Mach Punch just yet. I want to save a little bit of bulk to deal with Starmie. I decided to get a free switch off into Suicune. Remember, there's not really that much Conkeldurr can do in this matchup. I can eventually just start setting up, and I'll just be able to take him out. So I feel that I have the advantage here. He has 2 water types. He can switch into those if he wants, but it's going to let me either get a free Scald or a free Calm Mind. So Manaphy is going to be the Pokemon of choice to come in with, and he's going to decide to eat the Scald with Manaphy. I'm checking for leftovers. That's a big tell of how this thing set works. We do see the leftovers, which makes me think this is a wall set, not a sweeper set. So I really don't want to get substituted on here. I decided to switch out of just playing way too safe. Back into Kyurem Black, I was expecting either a Tail Glow or a Substitute. Both moves that don't really do damage. We're going to see the Tail Glow instead. That's actually fine with me. I'm not really scared of Manaphy at this point in the game. I would have actually been scareder of Sub, because he would have had like 2 chances to Scald. But he goes for an Ice Beam. That is a Tail Glow boosted Ice Beam, and it crit for neutral damage. And it didn't even KO. That's how bulky Kyurem is. Kyurem is the best Pokemon in the game, I think. And, well, the best Pokemon in OU. So Aerodactyl's going to come in. I'm locked into Outrage, and he's going to go for that Tough Claws boosted Aerial Ace. Is it Tough Claws or Tough Jaws or whatever the Aerodactyl has? Can we come up? Nah, whatever. Anyways, it boosts its physical attacks that make contact by 1.3. So no matter, we're going to see Suicune come in to wall the Aerodactyl. It goes for a Stone Edge. It hits but doesn't crit, and I'm going to crit him back with a Scald. Wasn't needed. We have 3 Pokemon apiece. Actually, no, he has 2. That was his 3rd one down. So he has Starmie and Conkeldurr versus the world here. And this is going to be the Suicune walling out Conkeldurr show. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. We're just going to go for Scalds, go until we get the burn, and there's not really... Like, you note that he restores a lot of HP, but pretty much once this guy gets burned, I would pretty much just start going for... You know, just Calm Minds, Calm Minds, Calm Minds, and there's not really that much he can do about it. Because eventually I'm just going to get to that point where I can one-shot you with Scald. I also have a Darmanitan that can just come out and bop you with a Flare Blitz. He also can't fight a Azumarill, period. He cannot fight a Azumarill, period, with any of these Pokemon. And I'm getting a little bit unlucky with the rest rolls here, but like I said, there's not really a way he can ever KO me, and she's just fighting an uphill battle. I mean, I guess if he got like crits and I got really unlucky, he could KO me, but there's still no way he could win because Azumarill checks both his Pokemon. So we're still just trying to get that burn. He probably has Guts, but I mean, burn just helps me tick it down easier. He's just going to forfeit right there. I'm going to be declared the victor, and yeah, pretty good game. It was nice seeing Aerodactyl, a Pokemon we actually don't see that often. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun playing these games. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.